Well, good evening. I'm Jonathan Alexander, your News Arizona, and tonight I'd like to talk about what's been going on around the country. A grand jury has just got done indicting 20 people on gun charges for trafficking drugs in for the cartel, and they've been taking them right over into Mexico. And seems to be an ongoing problem that America keeps facing. Um, One of the major problems that we have is these these guns are being used on the war against Donald Trump from the cartel, where they have basically declared war on the Trump administration and our ICE agents and Border Patrol for Donald Trump taking action and shutting these borders down. So, I want to share with you guys tonight a little bit about what has really been going on. I do have it right here. I can share with you guys. Um, this is where the cartel attacks police station in Arizona, and the law enforcement just basically destroyed them. And I will get this over to you guys. I want to share this report with you guys, anyways. Okay, I think this is the one I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, looks like it.
Chris Mays says funds were provided to straw purchasers who bought the weapons from shops here in the Valley. They are accused of forging ATF documents, and altogether the suspects face 113 charges. The indictment says cartels obtained more than 300 guns. Mays says many of the weapons have been recovered in Mexico.
Hey guys, I've got AAA.
When you're
So that right there just kind of gives you an idea. I mean, these traffickers are trafficking a lot of guns over into Mexico. So that the Mexican cartel has plenty of guns, ammunition to fight our law enforcement, to fight our border patrol and ICE agents, and this is pretty much turning into what I would have to say almost an all-out war. Um, so I'm going to get over here to where the cartel battle that they have with our law enforcement. I want to share that with you guys today as well.
Weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting.
President Trump wasn't kidding when he said the feds had made 3,000 arrests. It all started when federal agents intercepted cartel messages detailing a coordinated strike on Arizona police officers. No one believed it was real until DHS uncovered a plot so vast it spanned 3 countries. What followed wasn't just an arrest operation, it was a silent war. The secret DHS operation that stopped a cartel war in Arizona. What began as a faint trace in intercepted communications quickly spiraled into a full-blown national security crisis. Late one October evening in 2025, U.S. intelligence analysts monitoring encrypted chatter along the Arizona-Mexico border detected a series of coded messages. The content was cryptic, references to 3 doors, uniforms, and flames. When decrypted hours later, the meaning was unmistakable. The Sinaloa cartel, in coordination with offshoots of CJNG and Tren de Aragua, was preparing an unprecedented unprecedented assault on multiple Arizona police officers. The intended goal wasn't smuggling, intimidation, or bribery, it was annihilation. DHS analysts concluded that cartel leaders had approved a synchronized strike designed to cripple local enforcement morale, force the release of imprisoned lieutenants, and send a message to Washington that the cartels would not be domesticated by U.S. law. Within 12 hours, the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Northern Command elevated Arizona to Tier 1 threat status. Every available federal asset.
So, this just seems to be an ongoing crisis that we have here in America. We are now faced with the cartel battling our law enforcement, our Border Patrol and ICE agents. This war is going to progress, folks, and that's just my opinion on this matter, but that's what I see happening. I mean, every day we are finding out that we have more cartel entering in through our borders, trying to take out our law enforcement and our ICE agents and Border Patrol guys. Again, a lot of this has to do with Donald Trump declaring war on the cartel, and the cartel is trying their best to retaliate. And, if they get their way, we're going to have a major problem here in this country.
Was mobilized. By dawn, Arizona had become ground zero for what would later be called the largest internal counter-cartel operation in American history, a sweeping, multi-agency response that not only foiled the attacks, but led to the arrest of over 3,000 cartel-linked operatives nationwide. The operation's origins trace back to a decisive order signed in early 2025 by President Donald Trump during his second term. Standing before law enforcement leaders, he publicly designated major cartel syndicates as foreign terrorist organizations, a move that unlocked expanded surveillance powers and allowed DHS to treat cartel infrastructure as militant networks.
On my first day in office earlier this year, I signed an executive order to officially designate the drug cartels and savage transnational gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. It was my honor to do so.
That single designation transformed U.S. policy overnight. The Homeland Security Task Force was created to unify every major enforcement and intelligence body, the DEA, ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals, ICE, and CBP, under one roof. It was this task force that, by late October, intercepted the communications revealing what officials would later describe as a terror-style operation on American soil. DHS Secretary Pete Hickson briefed the president on the findings in a secure call. The intelligence indicated that the cartels had constructed sleeper networks throughout southern Arizona, embedding operatives in legitimate labor contracts, supply deliveries, and logistics chains tied to border commerce. The plan, scheduled for execution on October 31st, 2025.
So, I want to point this out real quick, and I'm going to continue this. Our news media companies out there in this country hide this from the American people. They don't want the American people seeing exactly what's going on with the cartels trying to take out our law enforcement and stuff. Here we have all these No King rallies and all this crap that we keep seeing out there where people are protesting ICE and Border Patrol, protesting Donald Trump. And, this is the crap that we're facing every day right here. This is why we're making a point of getting it out there to you guys and to all of America, because this is the kind of crap that needs to be stopped.
Was designed to coincide with Halloween festivities, maximizing chaos while emergency lines were overwhelmed by civilian calls. The targets were explicit: Yuma Police Headquarters, Phoenix South Mountain Precinct, and a Tucson Narcotics Task Office. All three were listed in a recovered digital memo titled 3 Gates, 1 Message. DHS analysts decoded it as a cartel reference to coordinated symbolic attacks, one in each major corridor of Arizona's southern enforcement triangle. President Trump ordered an immediate countermeasure, activating the full Homeland Security Task Force. The president's televised remarks would later confirm the operation's scale.
In a matter of weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting.
Within hours of that intelligence confirmation, Operation Steel Veil was initiated, a joint federal effort integrating DHS, ICE, FBI, and the Arizona Department of Public Safety. The mission was simple: neutralize every suspected network node before the first attack could unfold. For Arizona officials, this moment was the ultimate test of preparation. For nearly a year, the state had been running its own anti-cartel initiatives initiatives, the most prominent being Operation Desert Guardian, launched by Governor Katie Hobbs in February 2025. Operation Desert Guardian was designed to intercept narcotics, weapons, and human smuggling operations across Arizona's 370-mile border. It was executed in cooperation with federal partners but retained state command authority. Between February and September 2025, Desert Guardian recorded over 622 arrests, seized 971 pounds of narcotics valued above $77 million, and confiscated nearly 1,000 illegal firearms. Governor Hobbs framed the initiative not as partisan border theater, but as a practical response to surging fentanyl and meth flows. "We're going after traffickers, not families," she said during the operation's announcement.
So there you have it. There's our Governor Hobbs. She's going after traffickers, not families. I want to point this out to you guys. Right now we have got so many illegals that have come through our southern borders that our government doesn't know who in the hell is who. That's the reality. You don't know if John Doe over here or Jane over here um, has good intentions that came through the border. But one thing that I can tell you for sure, they came in illegally. They came in through the holes in the wall, which we've covered multiple times for you guys when we're out in the field. Um, this is where they come through. Um, to me, if you got to come through a hole in the wall on our borders versus going through a port of entry, trying to come through and do the right due process, if you've got to sneak through, obviously your intentions are not good. Especially back when they were coming through under the Biden administration, they knew they were going to be allowed to stay here in America. All they had to do is come through um, to get processed, given a cash card, free hotels, um, a bus ticket or a plane ticket to a city near you guys all around this country. And beyond that, they had no reason to have to come in, sneaking through. So, but again, these ones that come through the borders like that, where they got to sneak in, as far as I'm concerned, they've got a lot of bad intentions, and they have no right being in this country. Period. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and get bypass that. I think you guys have seen enough of that for tonight. Um, One of the things I'd like to talk about is what Trump announced last night about the Chinese. I heard some rumors today that he's kind of retracted that. I have not had a chance to really look into it, but from what I'm told, Donald Trump um, basically was doing it as a test so he could show such and such that the American people are against it and that he has America's full support. But in this meeting last night, it was a total different message that he was giving out, and I just want to play this for you guys a little bit.
Has made a dramatic U-turn on one of his most controversial education and immigration policies. Just months after his administration vowed to crack down on Chinese students, Trump now says he wants to welcome at least 600,000 of them to study in America. In this video, we explain what led to this sudden shift, how it ties into the larger US-China dynamic, and why it's stirring anger among his own supporters. Speaking to Fox News host Laura Ingraham, Trump defended the influx of foreign students, particularly the Chinese. You don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country. Destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that, he said. Trump added that foreign students, especially from countries like China, bring in massive economic value to the US. He said, "We take in trillions of dollars from students. They pay more than double when they come from foreign countries. I view it as a business." Trump.
So here's what I want to point out. For Trump to be making all those comments to Laura Ingraham, I watched the full interview, and seeing our president do that just totally disheartened me. you guys got to keep in mind, the Chinese work directly with the Sinaloa cartel. They're a big major role in the drug trafficking, with the fentanyl coming through our borders. Not to mention the Chinese spies that have entered through our borders and everything else. And it's at a point to where even Donald Trump doesn't really know who's who coming in from China to go to college or so-called college. We don't know their true intentions. This is where I just came unglued last night, and I've got to tell you guys, I came unglued. I love our president, but what he did, I I I lost a lot of respect last night. Um, and I can honestly say that because I'm on the front lines. I'm down on these borders. I'm reporting this to you guys. I'm witnessing this crap. And again, if Donald Trump has really retracted from that, and it was just for show to show how much the MAGA people are all supporting um, the shutdown of the borders and not allowing these illegals in. Well, he picked a pretty rotten way to do it, because a lot of his supporters out there I've been chatting with as well are pretty hot about it, pretty pissed off, including myself. I was pretty pissed off. Um, Again, I love our president with what he's been doing for our country, but when he made that announcement right there, gosh damn it, I was ticked. I'm going to play a little more of this for you guys.
Called it good for America's education system and insisted, I actually think it's good to have outside countries. I want to get along with the world. At a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, Trump reiterated his comments and revealed he had told Chinese President Xi Jinping that the U.S. was honored to have their students here. He stressed that America would continue to screen and monitor who is coming in, but emphasized that Chinese students are welcome. This shift marks a stark reversal from just a few months ago. In May, Secretary of State Marco Rubio had announced plans to aggressively revoke Chinese student visas, especially those with links to the Chinese Communist Party or sensitive technology fields. Attorney General Pam Bondi had said studying in the U.S. was a privilege, not a right. The administration had even proposed a compact for academic excellence, a plan that would cap international student enrollment at 15% of total undergraduates and bar any single country from exceeding 5% of that total. Several Republican lawmakers had raised alarms over alleged Chinese infiltration in U.S. academia. Congressman John Molinar and Representative Bill Huizenga had claimed Beijing was using students to access sensitive technology and AI research, describing it as part of China's larger plan to dominate critical industries. According to the Open Doors report by the Institute of International Education and the U.S. State Department, 277,000 Chinese students were enrolled in U.S. universities in 2023 to 24, about a quarter of all international students, second only to Indian students, who make up nearly 30%. Chinese students contributed over $11 billion, or roughly 9.75 Indian rupees lakh crore, to the U.S. economy during that period. Their numbers have fallen steadily since 2019, from 370,000 before the pandemic to under 200.
That's something else I want to mention that kind of really bothered me with that speech. You know, Donald Trump is talking about how many millions and millions of dollars in that speech with Laura Ingraham, that the American government has been receiving from China. I mean, the schools. Sorry about that. Um, you know, this country is not for sale, folks. And I think all the patriots around America would have to agree with me. We're not for sale. You can't buy us. And for Donald Trump to even talk like that is what pissed me off the most. And again, I understand supposedly he's retracted this now and he's come up with another thing. And whether he's retracted what his statement yesterday because he realized what an uproar he got from the patriots out here in America, or whether his excuse is legitimate. Um, the point is, he should have never said it. And that's my opinion. he could have figured out other ways to address this. We've got enough chaos going on right now in this country. The protesters, the no kings, and then now this crap right here. You know, if this is Donald Trump's way of instigating crap with the left, include, you know, so he could show them, now look at the uproar. You know, you're all getting the witness from the patriots out here in America. Again, we don't need any more controversy right now at this moment. We've got enough problems, enough bloodshed in America. Um, again, I mean, here we lost Charlie Kirk. Great, great patriot. And you know, I'm afraid we're going to be losing a lot more people before this is all said and done. That's my opinion on the matter, but I see it coming. Just the amount of chaos we're witnessing around the United States, Chicago, Portland, LA, Phoenix, I mean, you name it. We have got so much problems going on right now. It's almost inevitable not to be seeing a lot more bloodshed. I just see it coming. I've had enough of listening to that article right there. That's enough to turn my stomach. Um, Again, don't get me wrong. I love our president, but what he did right there just totally ticked the heck out of me. On another note, let's see. I want to get back to this right here for you guys. Yeah, and I want to share right here J.D. Vance. And where J.D. Vance says this was a huge political mistake, I'll share that over with you guys.
Mr. Vice President, great to see you again.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you. Welcome. Good.
Appreciate
Good. How you
this.
doing?
And thanks for sitting down. Well, I guess we start with a little good news.
Yeah.
Government is open.
That's right.
Okay, longest shutdown in history. Can you tell me what the point of all that was?
I wish that I knew, Sean, because here's what the Democrats actually accomplished. They caused a lot of stress for our troops. They made our air traffic controllers not get paid. They caused a lot of flight cancellations. They had a lot of people thinking they weren't going to get their food benefits, all for literally nothing, Sean, because we could have struck this exact deal 45 days ago. In fact, we met with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and said, we will pass this exact deal. They said no. They put the American people through a ton of pain and suffering for nothing. And we knew this was going to happen, Sean. We knew the President of the United States said every single day, eventually.
Let's say it like it is. Actually, they did make the American people go without their food benefits, not if or whatever. A lot of Americans have still not received their SNAP benefits to this day. The government's open, and they're already several weeks into this, to where these guys have had, especially our disabled, um, our seniors out there that were depending upon this. They've been going without for quite some time. So let's just get that set for the record.
The Democrats are going to realize this is an absurd position. We've got to reopen the government, and that's what they did.
As bad as it was getting, I'm trying to comprehend the thinking behind this. Except for 8 Democrats in the Senate and 6 in the House, they wanted it to continue. And there's real palpable anger that it didn't continue. I think Chuck Schumer's cooked as a result, even though he did everything that his base wanted.
Yeah, so let me say a couple things. First of all, I do give a lot of credit for the moderate Democrats in the Senate who were with us from the very beginning. Because if you remember the original bill to keep the government open before the shutdown even started, there were 52 GOP senators, 3 Democratic senators. They recognized where this was going. They recognized what was in the best interest of the country. But I think, Sean, there are so many far left people who run the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C., they just want to burn it down. They don't care if the troops don't get paid. They don't care if you cause billions of dollars of lost productivity. They don't care if you shut down the airline industry, which they were very close to doing. They just want to get Trump. And they don't care if they have to burn the entire country down in order to get Trump. That's what they want to do. And I think that it shows how stupid that approach is politically, because normally you would expect the President of the United States to get blamed for a shutdown. the American people were smart enough to recognize that the Democrats were the ones who were sort of holding this hostage. They were saying that unless you give us everything that we want, unless you give us $1.5 trillion of benefits, health care for illegal aliens, we're going to destroy the country. We're going to keep the government shut down indefinitely. I think
And he's 100% correct. That right there was specifically because they wanted to be able to fund healthcare, SNAP benefits over to illegal aliens versus the American people. This is the kind of crap that we're seeing here in America. And it's just a misfortune what the Democrats did, especially to a lot of people that were in need, especially with Thanksgiving coming right up. And, it's just got a lot of people very upset. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and bypass that. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already pretty much seen this, or have, I mean, obviously you know about it because our government's open again. And then I want to go ahead and share this with you guys real quick.
On the H-1B visas. So Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy coming out strong, saying they believe this is the way to keep America competitive in tech world. But a lot of other people saying, hey, wait a minute, this H-1B visa program has been abused. A lot of Americans would like these entry-level coding jobs that are going to a lot of people that are coming from other countries, with the incentive, of course, that they eventually will get a green card and be able to bring their family members over. And people saying these people are qualified, sure, but we have people here in America. Donald Trump weighed in on this, which left a lot of people confused because he seemed to have been against some of the abuses of this program earlier. And in 2016, he weighed in on it. Here he is saying to the New York Post, I've always liked the visas. I've always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them. I have many H-1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H-1B. I've used it many times. It's a great program. Charlie, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I think the distinction here, though, is that, the idea, as you pointed out earlier, the idea of having a program that allows an Elon Musk to come into the country, I don't think anybody has a problem with that. And certainly Donald Trump doesn't have a problem with that. The problem with the program is that it's been so abused and turned into a system where it is designed for big tech employers to get maybe not cheap labor, but cheaper labor.
And indentured servitude.
Yes.
When you come in through an H-1B visa, you have to remain employed with who employed you to come over.
Yeah. And you have no control over it, and you are indebted to them for perhaps a lifetime. And of course, these are the very abuses that the first Trump administration tried to clean up, and I think successfully did clean up.
I'm not entirely sure, and we should fact check that. I'm not entirely sure if you have to remain with that company.
I think it's for a period of time.
For a period of time. And I think you're right. I think the term you used is correct. But I think the ultimate thing is.
And actually, they do have to remain with them. We looked into it. So, doesn't, unless things are changed in that category, God only knows. Again, right now, I'm not sure what to think of Donald Trump. I love him. He's been a great president, but his approach with China. If you guys got some more information that I don't have on this, get it over to me. And, I keep hearing the plan. Well, if this is part of the plan, I don't think ticking off a bunch of Americans that are definitely not in support of China coming in, even for the schooling, I'm not in agreement with it myself. Just because of the fact you don't know who in the hell is who. You don't know who in the hell is here for schooling or bad intentions. And so that's where I'm at on the matter. I would like to share with you guys up here on the screen over here another article that came out. This is on the Epstein files. See if I can get it to come in for you guys.
When it comes to joint aches and pains, I recommend Omega XL. to all of my patients, and I take it myself. It's a natural.
Jeffrey Epstein. The documents include email exchanges where Epstein mentions high-profile people by name, including President Donald Trump. The emails that began almost 15 years ago were obtained by the GOP-led panel after it subpoenaed Epstein's estate earlier this year. The first group of records from the estate were released by the committee in September. President Trump has referred to the saga as the Jeffrey Epstein hoax and has consistently denied any wrongdoing.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
In one 2019 email exchange to author Michael Wolff, Epstein appeared to reference that incident, writing, quote, "Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Elaine to stop." Well, tonight there is a separate effort from a bipartisan pair of lawmakers calling for the Justice Department to release all case files. They now have the signatures needed to force a vote in the House that's scheduled to take place next week.
All right, guys. Do you guys feel like they have handled the Epstein?
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse have been pressing Congress to release all government files on the late sex trafficker. In September, they spoke on Capitol Hill in favor of the discharge petition to force a floor vote on releasing the files. Just 2 weeks later, Speaker Mike Johnson sidestepped the issue entirely by effectively suspending the entire House from all business for nearly 2 months. The survivors have not let up. With the House now back in session, some of the women attended Arizona Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva's extremely delayed swearing in last night. They were there when Congresswoman Grijalva became, as she promised, the final vote needed on that discharge petition. Their efforts have paid off. The House will hold a vote on releasing the Epstein files next week. So the survivors plan to meet.
So, anyways, what I was getting ready to say, I'd like to get your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think they handled the Epstein files okay so far? Do you think they've should have released everything? Personally, if Donald Trump has nothing to hide, I say just release them. I think the American people deserve to know the truth, and to get it out there to put this matter to rest. And this matter's been going on for quite some time now, and quite frankly, I'm fed up with it. And I'd like to just move on. We've got to move on. We got bigger fish to fry right now out there. What's going on in this world around our country? Anyways, as you guys can see, I got a different studio background. This is my new studio. I'm working on everything. Got a lot of sound equipment coming in, and we're focusing on just getting the proper lighting in, which will be coming in as well for the studio. And hopefully the sound quality tonight is good, I hope. And if not, just give me a holler out there. And other than that, I've got to be live early in the morning on a couple other shows. And then we're going to be doing Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. That will be at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Hope you guys can tune in to that show as well. And just want to check, make sure there's no comments out here on social media. And Jack Denariga, miss you too, my brother. Be safe out there. Let's see. All right. Anyways, hopefully my sound quality is coming in good tonight. I hope so. And anything we need to adjust and get fixed in our studio here, we'll be working on it. Want to announce about Loaded Gun Coffee, one of my sponsors. Loaded Gun Coffee, for everybody that purchases coffee through them, they are donating a portion over to Your News Arizona in support of our channel. This is a nonprofit channel. We're not making money for broadcast. And if you guys go ahead and order, make sure you put in reference your news AZJTA. And Loaded Gun Coffee does donate a portion of every purchase over to Your News Arizona. And also, I'd like to talk about Q Broadcast real quick. Um, I know originally it was going to be the 4th was their deadline. Right now, they've extended it until some new equipment is finished being installed. For those of you guys that sign up with Q Broadcast right now, you get unlimited television, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, all your local channels. You get pay-per-views, NFL. I mean, you name it, you get it all. Um, you get it all for $59.99 a month. If you sign up right now, you're locked into for life. Once they're finished with this upgrade, which will be any day now, the price is going to raise up to $69.99 a month, and you're not going to be locked into the lifetime rate of $59.99. So you guys ought to check out Q Broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and put up the link up there right now for you guys to check them out. And that's up there in your left-hand corner of the screen. And I have another one I can put up there for you guys as well, I believe. Okay. Anyways, you guys ought to check them out. That's what we use for all of our broadcasts, all of our television out there that we need. That's what I've been watching now for almost 3 years, is Q Broadcast. But you guys ought to check it out. It's just a great way to save a lot of money versus paying those high satellite bills and cable bills. Because everything that Q Broadcast offers, if you were on satellite or cable having all this kind of programming, you'd be paying right at probably close to $200 a month. And they're giving it all to you for $59.99 a month. If you sign up now, again, you're locked into for life with Q Broadcast. And again, you guys need to check out Loaded Gun Coffee. They've got the best coffee out there in the country. As far as I'm concerned, to put black powder rifle, or whatever they're called, company to shame. Um, I just love these guys' coffee, not just because they donate a portion to us, because I drink it every day and it's the best. And other than that, guys, God bless you, Patriots out there. And tonight was kind of a trial run in the new studio, so not quite 100% ready for this broadcast. I just wanted to check out the sound quality and make sure everything else is functioning properly out here. And then we'll be finishing up the studio by this weekend, and everything should be definitely 100% functioning great. So, all right, guys, I've got to get ready to end this broadcast. I got to be up early. So, God bless all you guys out there. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.